Triple-digit heat to end your work week, but is that going to extend into your weekend? We'll take a look at that, plus your changing 7-day forecast coming up at 6.
Fascinating new details into a state investigation alleging hundreds of thousands of dollars missing from a local charity. A mother of 2 dies when she's caught in a house fire. Months of wildfires have everyone doing their part to keep our firefighters healthy enough to keep us safe. Those stories right now here on CBS 7 News at 6.
Each of us have probably done something at some time in our past that we probably wish we could take back or redo.
The criminal history of the man chosen as the new Pecos City manager is stirring controversy across West Texas. So will he still be offered the job? New details tonight into just how this information slipped through the cracks during the search for a new city manager. CBS 7's Jennifer Samp joins us from Pecos, where the controversy is on everyone's mind. Jennifer?
It's definitely the talk of the town. It even made headlines on the Odessa American and the Pecos Enterprise. The big question I'm hearing around the city is, will Jim Aguilera, also known as Jaime, still be hired?
It certainly has been kind of a trying time.
The slate of the new city manager's name remains blank. Mayor Vanetta Seal says the city council thought they had a perfect fit, Jaime Aguilera from Santa Teresa, New Mexico, but then came to a roadblock. Aguilera has bribery charges out of California.
I was very surprised.
Seal says they've met with Aguilera 3 times before choosing him. Not once did he mention the charge.
A lot of factors will play into it. Just personally, I would have rather him have shared that himself.
He says they called mayors, councils, city chiefs, and other employers who also did not release that information. But if you type the #1 candidate's name in Google search, you'll find Aguilera's past. News articles saying he was indicted for being connected to a $5,000 bribe 12 years ago. Aguilera also did not fill out an application that asks about his past.
Well, it's something that we're going to improve on in our own process here.
Aguilera says the charge was reduced to a misdemeanor and pled no contest because he was on his way to retiring. Mayor Vanetta Seal says he is still their #1 candidate. The people of Pecos, however, have mixed feelings.
I am not for it, but the best candidate will get it.
Whatever happened in the past is the past. You need to give people a chance.
Is he performing his job the right way? I don't think there's nothing wrong with it.
Caught by law enforcement. Some of us have done things that have not been caught by law enforcement. Does that make one person better than another?
Federico Reyes from Del Rio was chosen to be the assistant city manager. Mayor Vanetta Seal says he also needs to fill out that application. In Pecos, Jennifer Sam, CBS 7 News.
Jennifer, thank you. The Pecos City manager seat was left vacant after the death of Joseph Gilbert Torres last month. He was found dead in his home the morning after a grand jury indicted him on a charge of indecency with a child. Pecos City Council members appointed Police Chief Clay McKinney as interim city manager. And new information tonight on a story that you saw first here on CBS 7. An organization that serves hundreds of low-income families in several counties across West Texas may soon be shutting down. And tonight, we're going deeper into the state's investigation of what happened and how. CBS 7's Shelley Childers was the only reporter at last night's very heated meeting. She joins us now here in the newsroom with the very latest. Shelley?
The Texas Department of Housing and Community Affairs began their investigation in April and returned in May to continue looking into the shocking discoveries that they call, quote, an unacceptable lack of management and executive oversight. Here's exclusive video from last night's heated meeting where Executive Director Mary Jane Rios actually stole the investigation report that was handed to me by a board member and then ran to the parking lot, refusing to hand the paperwork back. So you're just going to walk away and not say anything to your client?
Nothing.
You're going to just take papers away from me that I had, that a board member gave me?
Yes.
Why?
Because they're mine.
Do you have something to hide? Do you have something to hide? Why would you just take papers away that a board member gave me? We did get a second copy of the 20-page investigation that identifies 27 significant issues with the program operations. They include everything from destruction of documents to reporting fraudulent expenses. Rios is alleged to have committed nepotism and telling staff to end the waiting list and stop prioritizing clients for a weatherization program. In the investigation, the state found a board member actually benefited from ending that waiting list and had more than $5,000 worth of weatherization completed on their home. Come to find out that that board member doesn't even qualify for the assistance, while hundreds of clients were never told they'd been taken off of the list. At one point, the state finds, quote, a failure to make timely progress towards getting people off of poverty. We'll have a lot more on these charges and the investigation. That's coming up tonight at 10 o'clock. For now, live in the newsroom, Shelley Childers, CBS 7 News.
Thank you very much, Shelley. Two Midland brothers are without their home and their mother tonight after an early morning fire caught them by surprise. 63-year-old Kay Menafield died after the fire broke out just before 7 o'clock this morning. Her two sons and their friends suffered minor injuries. The Midland Fire Department believes the cause was an overloaded power strip connected to a window air conditioning unit.
Like a sister to us. Whenever we need her, she was there, and when she needed us, we were there for her. Oh, God. Oh, we really did love her.
The Red Cross and Midland County Crisis Intervention Unit are both assisting the family and their immediate needs. The fire department reminds everyone to make sure a working smoke detector is set up in your home. And the driver of a car who died after running head-on into a tree has been identified. 49-year-old Patrick Ogden died on impact, according to DPS troopers. Last night around 7:40, Ogden was heading west on Highway 158 at a high rate of speed when his truck left the road near 349. DPS is still investigating. And a truck rollover near Big Spring this morning stalled traffic for a bit. DPS tells us that around 10:30 this morning, two vehicles were traveling north on Highway 137 when one of them tried passing the other and was hit and rolled over. One of the drivers was ticketed for trying to pass within 100 feet of an intersection. No one was injured in that crash. Another triple-digit day as we round out the work week. In fact, we're still breaking records with this very hot summer. Meteorologist Juan Acuña is standing by with a look at the day and the rest of our evening. Juan?
Oh, that's right, Stephanie. A very warm day across West Texas. We want to start you off with the pinpoint weather 4x4 radar as the radar sweeps are scanning the skies of West Texas, looking for any amount of precipitation. And you can see off towards the west, mainly near Hudspeth County, but in southern and western portions of Culberson and Jeff Davis County, getting a little bit of activity. So as we zoom in, you can see most of the activity staying just to the south of I-10, staying around I-90. Not a whole lot going on, but nonetheless, a little bit of activity just to the south of Van Horn. As we take a look at the weather headlines, though, again, triple-digit heat this afternoon, as Stephanie just mentioned, and our weekend looks to be breezy with those near-century temps still in the forecast. Taking a look at early evening, though, at 10 o'clock, we'll look for 92 degrees, mostly clear conditions with a south wind anywhere between 10 to 15 miles an hour. Now, coming up a little bit later on in weather, we'll take a full look at the 7-day forecast and see if any rain is in for next week.
Thank you, Juan. More stories all new at 6 tonight. It's one of the worst fire seasons in Texas history, and now some are going out of their way to do what they can to help our volunteer firefighters. CBS 7's Jason Britch is in Big Spring, where one woman is doing just that and more. Jason?
We had so many fires around, and I thought, and it was just, God put it in my mind that I could take up donations from people. So I called Tommy Sullivan and I said, what do you need?
For the past several weeks, Vicki Slayton has been collecting donations from anyone willing to lend aid to the Howard County Volunteer Fire Department, something they say means everything.
We're trying to protect their structures, with the gear that they're giving us and with the, the help that they're giving us. So it's very nice.
Slayton says the biggest items that are needed are for day packs, which include water, sunscreen, aspirin, and various other items that she says shows the community's support.
They're standing behind them, and that's what they need. They need to know they're appreciated and that we appreciate what they've done, because they don't get paid, and they need this stuff. So that's why I did it.
So why do this for the fire department?
It gives me the fulfillment to know that I'm helping. That, they're, like I say, I can't go out and fight fires, but at least I can do this to know that I'm giving them something.
Even though the gifts are needed, Wade says there's other ways to show appreciation.
It doesn't even have to be, a gift or donations or anything to the department itself. Just, the gratitude of knowing that, what we're doing is very appreciated by the community out there.
Reporting in Big Spring, Jason Britch, CBS 7 News.
A species conservation group is speaking out against claims that listing the sand dune lizard on the endangered species list would hurt ranching in West Texas. Earlier this week, CBS 7 spoke with the Texas and Southwestern Cattle Raisers Association, who said that the lizard listing could derail the industry and affect the food supply. Washington, D.C.-based Defenders of Wildlife say it's not true. The defenders claim that there is, quote, simply no truth to their argument that protecting the species will severely damage the industry or endanger the vitality of our nation's food supply. The defenders say that the Ranching Association is crossing the line from hyperbole into pure deceit. And the battle of water rights in Fort Stockton continues. Coming up, how a Midland company is trying to overturn a ruling saying the water stays where it is. And a children's program produced right here in West Texas is gaining national attention. We're going to tell you where you can check out Hurleyville.
And record-setting heat was achieved today out at Midland International. We'll tell you how hot it got, plus how your weekend looks as well. Weather is coming up next. Portion of our viewing area has a better chance on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So we have a fairly long stretch there of isolated shower activity. So we'll hope for and keep our fingers crossed so we can get some.
Well, maybe if we think big, maybe if we think thunderstorm, we'll get a little rain.
Maybe we'll get some. We'll keep an eye on it, especially here on the weekend.
Thanks, Juan. Local centers that help families with limited resources are in desperate need of help this summer, and national lawmakers are meeting this weekend to possibly slash the national deficit. A look at what they're doing. You're watching CBS 7 News, your eye on West Texas. It's going to be a long weekend for lawmakers and their staff members as they get ready for a Sunday evening meeting at the White House. President Obama has called them together to start working towards a deal that would raise the nation's debt limit and slash federal spending. Republicans and Democrats are fighting hard against parts of the president's proposal that would raise the debt ceiling, slash about $4 trillion in spending, and close some tax loopholes.
There is no way that the House of Representatives will support a tax increase.
Democrats are worried about the call to cut spending for programs like Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. The president has asked that both sides bring their bottom line proposals on Sunday. Fort Stockton Holdings is requesting facts and findings from the Middle Pecos Groundwater Conservation District. The board voted to adopt the facts and findings today, which means Fort Stockton Holdings has 20 days to review the information. After review, the company can file a request for rehearing. If the board denies that request, the water battle will head to district court. And Centers for Children and Families is asking for your help. They're in need of volunteers for their Kids First program. It takes 2 hours a month, and it lets a child see their non-custodial parent who otherwise might not get the chance to. Volunteers will monitor their visits. For more information, visit the location on your screen, or you can call them at 570-1084. Centers also wants to help you become a better parent, and their parenting workshop called Parenting with a Purpose starts this month. The first one is July 11th at True Light Christian Fellowship Church in Midland. Goes from 5:30 to 7:30. Child development, discipline, nutrition, health, and family budgeting are just a few of the topics. You can call them again, 570-1084 to sign up. And Brian Wilkerson joins us now with a look at sports. A very sad day for the Rangers club.
Very sad day. A Rangers fan lost his life last night at the ball game. We'll bring you that story. But first, let's get to our trivia question sponsored by Window World. What year was the first?
It was a history-making moment as Space Shuttle Atlantis lifted off for the last time this morning. Atlantis took off from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida as the world watched, some with tears, for the 135th and final mission. Only 4 astronauts journeyed instead of the usual 6 or 7. The Obama administration is promising to have NASA work on a new spacecraft that will take the U.S. even deeper into space. And a locally produced TV series is gaining some national recognition. Hurleyville is a new faith-based children's TV series, and it features all local actors. It was filmed on location in Midland by Press On Productions. The Dove Foundation is featuring the series and giving it a rave review on their homepage as the straight-to-DVD selection for the week. For more information on Hurleyville, just visit our website at cbs7.com. Well, it may be a good weekend to stay indoors, watch some movies, because it's going to be hot out there.
Yeah, it's still going to be hot. Not a whole lot different than what we have been seeing. So we'll still see triple-digit levels. Again, we reached a record for today at 103. Tomorrow looks at 100. Sunday, we drop it down a little bit to 99. And then Monday of next week, we start to get moisture in and we'll get some showers, hopefully.
All right. Thank you, Juan. We'll see you back here at 10 o'clock. Entertainment Tonight is coming up next. You make it a great evening.